Welcome back to the next thrilling episode of Writing a Song in Every County in Ireland. And on this occasion, we are in County Leitrim. And we're again beside a body of water. This is Loch Allen in County Leitrim, another beautiful part of the world, a little slipway where fishermen launch their boats. And County Leitrim on our list is number 26. If you've been following along, you know that I have this list of counties listed by their geographical size. So 26 out of the 32 counties, County Leitrim is the number 26, which means it's one of the smaller counties. It also means that for sources of inspiration for this songwriting project, which again, just to recap, the sources of inspiration are primarily kind of being here, just kind of soaking up the atmosphere and being physically on the land, as it were. But secondly, the Book of Psalms, those 3,000-year-old, well, in fact, in some cases much more than 3,000-year-old Middle Eastern folk songs, commonly known as the Book of Psalms. That means that the source material that I've chosen for the inspiration for Leitrim is Psalm 26. You basically add 30 each time, so 26, 56, 86, 116, and then 146. And the reason why the Psalms feature as kind of a source of inspiration is because, yeah, and you may have heard me say this before, back in the kind of the 4th, 5th, 6th century and beyond, in the early kind of Celtic monastic period of this land, the Psalms were kind of the prayer book of that culture, and really significantly shaped the culture of this island and subsequently Europe and beyond, actually, after the fall of the Roman Empire. That's a whole other story, which we'll perhaps unpack on another day. But anyway, all that to say, County Leitrim, being here in this another really peaceful, beautiful place, and I'm going to dive into some of what those ancient texts say, and just pick up on little threads of ideas and see what kind of songwriting ideas emerge from that. This project is kind of has turned into, and again, you may have heard me say this before, it started off just as a kind of little point of curiosity for me, just to kind of get out around the country that I live in, see parts of it that I haven't seen, but also I've discovered along the way that it's more about capturing songs from the land rather than writing songs for a place or have any kind of agenda attached to the writing process. It's just about capturing something from the place and from the inspiration attached to it. So anyway, I'm going to step back into the camper van, into the RV. For those of you who are listening to this from America, a camper van is an RV. An RV is a camper van in our world. And let's see what kind of songwriting ideas emerge from that. Speak soon. Okay, folks, here we are, back with a few embryonic ideas for this County Leitrim song. The Psalms that I mentioned that I've attached to this particular county, I've had to sing through them and I play through them and read through them and listen to the audio versions of it, and you kind of notice some repeating patterns oftentimes when you do that. And there's a couple of phrases that have constantly repeated in it, and one of those phrases is, and I'll give you a bit of theology here. God is gracious. The Lord is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, rich in mercy and faithful love. And the interesting thing about that little phrase, or a variation of it, appears 3 or 4 times across those psalms that have been allocated for this song. And the interesting thing about that phrase, that is the exact repeat of God's first self-revealed nature of his character. It appears in Exodus chapter 34 when God appears to Moses and reveals who he is: gracious, compassionate, slow to anger, rich in mercy and faithful love. And it appears a number of times in these psalms, so that kind of caught my attention. Another line that caught my attention was a number of times it's repeated in these texts, the phrase "all day long." all day long, various things. So anyway, just pulling on the threads of a few ideas. I'm going to start off just with those kind of things, and so the completed song may sound something inspired by this, but here's what we've got so far. You are gracious and compassionate all day long, rich in mercy and slow to anger all day long, rich in mercy and your faithful love all day long, all day long. So those are some of the ideas. That may be the starting point. As before, the song could end up including that. This may simply be the springboard into something that widens and expands those thoughts out. But anyway, the next video we'll be back with you with a kind of a more fleshed out, complete song idea, but that's where we're starting from. So again, bless you guys. Thank you again for paying attention and being part of this this mystery journey that we're on, writing a song in every county in Ireland. Bless you. Speak soon. Bye.